Christmas florals with maybe some Easter tones in it as well, right? It's going to be a ton. Cliff finally turned the lights on. It's going to be a ton of fun. We have some great guests tonight. Rebecca Parsons going to be here from Mixing It Up. We have Lisa Liza Lou here, or L Cubed is what we call her. And we have Diana Gonzalez, which I think is in the room tonight. And I also have a couple crafts and an announcement towards the end of the show. It's going to be a fun thing. Oh, yay! She is here tonight. I'm sorry, I didn't see you in the room earlier there, Miss Craftaholic. So, I just wanted to say hello, and we're going to rock into our first demo by Diana Gonzalez. I'm going to show you the slide. It's really, really cute. So this is what Miss Diana is creating tonight, and we're going to hop over to her because her kids kind of have a schedule, and we don't want them busting in on her craft session, right? So here it is, off to the lovely Diana. Alright, well, looks like you're having some technical difficulties. Just go on into the Craft-Tastic room before that and click test webcam, and that will help you figure out maybe what's going on. And I will actually just go into my demo, my first demo of the evening. I'm going to be doing kind of demos in between everybody's demos, so I'm trying to insert my crazy craftiness into your lives. Oh, and by the way, I've decided that instead of saying expletives, is that how you say it? Like darn, gee gosh, those types of things, we're going to replace it with, I just spit, we're going to replace it with bloom. So we're going to say, bloom it. Okay, I'm a spitter, watch out. Again, if you're filtering into the room, don't forget to spread this thing like a virus. Click on the link above, and then actually, don't click on it. Copy it. Copy the link above. Paste it into your Facebook page, your Twitter feeds, everything you got. Get people in here. This is the show you're not going to want to miss. I promise you. I promise you, people. All right. Bloom it all. Bloom it all to bloom. All right. So that's the rules for all of the demonstrators tonight. You must use bloom as an expletive. Is it expletive? Yes, I believe Cliff's like, I don't know what that is. Okay, so let's go into my demo, which is kind of, I like to get a lot of inspiration from you guys. And earlier on in the month, I asked you guys what your favorite flower was, and you guys have amazing choices in favorite flowers. And I just decided that I could not possibly you know, come up with something that was all of your favorite flowers, so I came up with my own flower. That's right, I came up with my own flower. And it's crazy. It's actually kind of more of I don't know if you'd call it a flower, but I'll let you guys decide what it looks like, okay? I see this as a great little teacher's gift, just something to kind of add up, you know, add a little color to the room, and to use your leftover Easter eggs, your little plastic Easter eggs. This is a really good project to upcycle, and it's a super easy project too, people. It is a very easy thing to do, and you know, I don't have a name for these flowers just yet, but they probably by the end of the show will have a name, like Afro eggs, such as Lisa is just saying. So I just hit my elbow because I laughed so hard. Oh, it hurts. Blooming fuzzy flowers. All right. So let's go over to Craft Camp. Wow, Cliff, that was impressive. Hello. All right. So I'm gonna take down the little picture there. Now, this is a very easy project, actually, and it's kind of a fun little guy here. I took myself a little plastic egg, and I'm not going to do all of these. You're going to need to do about 10 of these. And I have a skewer, a barbecue skewer, bamboo barbecue skewer. Of course, my trusty hot glue gun. Yeehaw, hot glue. And hot glue, and and a container to hold all of these guys. Now for my project, I just happen to have this little plastic container. I also would use a soup can to use that, wrap the soup can in a really nice decorative paper, and then off you go. And then some yarn for your little afro puffs, or otherwise known as pom-poms. And then you are gonna get yourself looking something like this. So it reminds me of Fraggle Rock for some reason. Bloomin' pom-poms. And it's a really easy project. For the most part, you can have the kids do this craft with you, but anything that involves hot glue, I don't recommend having the kids, you know, getting too involved in it. But they can help you with the pom-poms. And if you guys haven't already seen me make pom-poms, it's really easy. I have made some really silly things with pom-poms, and I gander that this is probably the bloominest pom-pom project I've ever made. So all you do is take about 3 fingers. These are some normal size fingers here. I think that this breed of fingers look pretty nice. These are normal size fingers, and you just start wrapping your yarn around your 3 fingers. Now don't cut off the circulation. You're bound to probably have the tips of your fingers purple for just a small amount of time, but it's okay, it's healthy. And just wrap your yarn around about 90 times. That's right, 90 times. Now I'm not gonna bore you. Actually, maybe I will. Okay, I'm just gonna continue.
Why don't you count for us?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 90 times. Because the more you wrap it around, the puffier you're gonna get in your little afro puff, which I think is hilarious that we're calling afro puffs instead of pom-poms. New word, afro puff. Okay. And this is what your little nest is going to look like when you yank it off of your fingers, and your fingers are going to be like, thank God. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And then you're going to get about 8, you're going to get about a foot of string. And then you put it underneath your little nest that you've created. Now just for those of you who have never created pom-poms before this way, you can see that, you know, the little circle where your fingers were right there. You set your string just underneath that, right in the middle of the string, and then tie yourself a knot as tight as you can get it. Blammo! Like that. And then I just put my thumb in the middle and wrap back around and give myself another knot. And how about one more for good measure, people? Alright. And then you just go through all your little loops and start cutting away. And it's going to look really kind of funky monkey. It's going to look more like dreadlocks than an afro, but hey, you know, you can't win them all. You're actually also going to go through and trim them, so you don't have to worry about it actually being more dreadlocks, unless you're into dreadlocks, and that's totally cool with me. You know, to each their own. Dreadlocks, afro, whatever you want to do. You can shave it all off. All right. So,
Trying to say.
Cliff's got pom-pom envy. Okay, and then once you get kind of this crazy look here, I like mine to be a little bit more pom-pom looking, so I just start digging right in there and kind of shaving off the strands, which would scare most women. Don't cut my hair! And if you want to make it even fuzzier looking, you can take like steel wool. You can take those little steel brushes that you get. I've used those barbecue brushes, and you can go over your yarn and just kind of like rough it up, and that makes it really fuzzy. For this project, I just left it just regular yarn pom-poms, not so fuzzy pom-poms. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Check it out. Hold on, I'm going to discard my scraps here. And now the bottom of the egg serves really nicely as kind of the little leaves or the cup that's going to hold it. The top you can use as well. You're just going to anchor it a little bit higher. So I'm just going to show you how to use the bottom. Sorry, threw that off to the side. And this is kind of the fun part because you get to kind of put a little bit of power. Power it up. Take your barbecue skewer, like crazy, you know, tribal style. Take your barbecue skewer, put it through the bottom of your egg. All right, you're gonna have to push down. Like that. Now what's kind of cool about these little eggs is that they have a weak point right in the middle of the bottom especially, so you actually can get through that pretty easily. If you don't have an easy time, just take a pair of sharp scissors or a knife. Just do what you gotta do. Just be careful, all right? That's all I have to say. Just be careful. So now it's in the bottom, and now we have to skewer our pom-poms. For those of you who have watched Craft-Tastic-Live for the many years that we've been doing this, you've seen me skewer pom-poms on more than one occasion. For some reason, pom-poms and skewers and I just go really well together. I'm just going to give it a little bit of glue on top of this skewer, if not a little bit also on the inside of my little cup here, and then I'm just going to full on skewer the pom-pom on and just push it in. Cliff is looking at me like I've lost my bloomin' mind. Alright, so you're going to want to make about 10 or so of these, and they're egg froze, and then at various heights you're going to want to kind of arrange them into your little holder, and then fill the holder with your grass. Your grass will just kind of cover up all of the little gaps that you're going to have in there, and then you have yourself a really cute little display like so. And it's just like I said, it's good for maybe teachers or just kind of spicing up the kids' room, or you know whatnot. It's got a lot of stuff and a lot of colors, and it's a lot of fun, and I personally like it a lot, darling. All right, so that was the first craft of the evening. Hopefully, Miss Diana, you could figure out your craft cam or your camera. If not, then we will probably go on over to Rebecca, and she doesn't know what's going on, so we'll probably go over to Rebecca because Rebecca has an amazing craft too, and it's unfortunate that Diana doesn't have the craft cam working, but we'll go over to Rebecca, who has super cute, like a little gift box. I call the gift box. So many different things you can do with it. Rebecca has her own show as well called Mixing It Up with Rebecca Parsons. You don't want to miss that because it's a ton of fun, and hopefully she'll talk more about it. And don't forget, Rebecca, bloomin'. Use bloomin'. All right, off to you, lady.
Hi. I hope I'm not overdressed tonight. I just got out of the garden, so I brought my little fancy purple flower with me. So I hope everybody's doing well and is happy. Let me just get rid of my flower so I can do my thing here. I am so excited to be on Craft-Tastic-Live tonight and blooming with all the rest of you. And spring is my very, very, very favorite time of year. I just love it when that yellow-green starts bursting forth and all of the brown of winter goes away. So I always host what I call a posy party each year for 5 of my girlfriends. And each one of us brings a tiny potted plant with us to share. It's kind of like a cookie exchange, only it is not cookies, it is plants. And we spend the afternoon potting posies with each other, and we also are sipping herbal iced tea and snacking on finger foods. So this year I decided to fancy up my little gifts with some little recycled craftiness, using some old antique buttons and things like that. So let's get started and see what we can do here. So what you need for this is a sheet of yellow scrapbook paper, kind of heavyweight scrapbook paper. And you need a little favor box. I found this at Hobby Lobby, and it was on sale for $1, and it's usually only like, I think $1.99 for 10 of them, so they're real easy to find. And you will need some buttons, of course, and I've got 3. You can usually use 2 or 3 different ones. And I have a little piece of Hershey Kiss foil here that I saved from Valentine's Day that I'm going to show you something to do with. I knew I'd find something to do with that. And then I have just a tiny scrap of cute little scrapbooking paper that I'm going to use. something to punch a hole with. I'm going to use a green and a pink marker. I'm also going to use another permanent marker just to draw with a little bit, and some fancy little cutting scissors. I also am going to use a hole punch that's got a scalloped edge. It's a 2-inch hole punch that I just love. Use that a lot. And some ribbon also. So let me get this out of the way and let's get started. So the first thing I do with my 12 by 12 inch yellow cardstock is fold it in two so that it will fit through my printer. So I go into my Photoshop program, or you can do it in any kind of program that actually prints text, and find a nice font and print out on your piece of yellow scrapbook paper. And I chose Bloom for tonight, which seemed appropriate, I guess. And so the first thing you do is need to take your little scissors and cut that right out. And I'm not going to bore you by cutting too much of this, but I usually get 4 of them on my sheet. So I already have one that's cut out here. So that's what it looks like. I kind of round the edges, but that's not something you really have to do if you don't want to. So the first thing I do is take my pink marker and I color in my letters. And this is a permanent marker. And if your printer does not print and it bleeds, then go ahead, you can spray it with like workable fixative or the Krylon stuff that will keep it in place. But my printer prints pretty well and pretty solid and doesn't run. So just quickly fill that in. And the next thing I want to do is get out my little favor box. You can see how cute this is. And it is just perfect size. When I bought this, I knew I'd find something wonderful to do with this. And it's the perfect size to hold these little plants that you get in the little 6-packs. So that's what we're actually doing tonight, is fixing that. And the first thing I want to do is to drill some holes in the side of it. And I just use my awl, or if you have a paper punch, you can do it that way. I'm going to open them up a little bit because I want them to be big enough to put some of my ribbon through. So it looks like a little carrying thing. And I'm going to set that aside for now and get my buttons. And you can use any kind of buttons. I use usually 3 different sizes so they'll kind of nest and look cute together. And if you don't have the right colored buttons, you can always paint them with acrylic paints or spray paint them. But again, I saved some wrappers from my little kisses at Valentine's Day, so I'm going to cover this one with some of that pink paper because I think it looks really cool in here. Just do that quickly. And I'm going to take my hot glue and I am going to glue this right on the bigger button. And then I'm going to glue. If your button has a shank on it, you might want to cut that off. I usually use like the heavy wire cutters or even my rotary tool to just sand it off. But since this button has a divot in it, I think it'll sit in there nicely. So I didn't bother taking that off tonight. So let's hope it just sits there and is good. Thank you. All right, the next thing I want to do is take my little scrap of paper and my hole punch, and I'm just going to insert it and turn it over on the bottom so I can see where my paper is coming in. And I'm just going to punch that little scalloped thing. Isn't that cute? I love that. And I'm going to put some hot glue right there and put it down. And then I'm going to put some more hot glue right on top of that. And this is real quick and easy too. I think it is. So it's kind of a fun project. And set that right down in there. And let's wait for that to dry. I'm going to take my other pen, my permanent pen, and sometimes I make stitches. I will draw stitches or just a straight line or whatever, because I want it to have a stem and I want it to have some leaves. So you can draw this little straight in there. And to draw leaves, just don't be afraid of them. You can put a semicircle, 2 semicircles joined together. That's all you have to do. Cool. And then I'm going to take my green marker and I am going to fill those in. Easy, easy peasy. And so, so cute. And by the way, I want to apologize for my voice tonight. I've been really, really sick. I rarely get colds, but I happen to have had one for over a week now, so I'm kind of full of Diet Coke tonight and cold medicine that I actually had to show my driver's license to get. So I don't know what's in that stuff, but I'm feeling pretty good, so hopefully we can make it through this. All right, we're getting there. The next thing I want to do is kind of dry fit this on my box to make sure that I've got it lined up right, and kind of just press in at those corners so I know it'll work. And before I attach that, I am going to attach my ribbons, because those can get kind of unwieldy. So I've picked a couple of matching color ribbons here. And if my old hands will thread this through this hole, we will get this little thing put together. All right, one side. Sometimes my fingers just don't want to work anymore. And let's thread this one through. I hope my time's okay. I forgot to see how long this was. Alright, so enough fiddling with that. And then just to add some extra little blingy ribbons on the side also. I won't bother tying those on. You know what I'm talking about. So I am going to go ahead and put some glue on the front. And then I'm going to set my little bloomer. I'm not cursing. I'm just setting my little bloom thing on top. And then I'm going to do the sides quickly. I can't even squeeze the glue gun. Those pills must be getting to me, I tell you. All right. So then I'm just going to plop my little plant in, and I usually just get a little plastic bag of some sort and stick it in the bottom so any wetness will stay away from the bottom of the box and they lose that on the way home. Alright, there we kind of have our little blooming surprise. And I usually make, also I will make this I'll scan this in and I will make a card to invite the people to the party. This is also really good. You can use it for if you have like a garden party or a spring brunch. You can make this as your name tag or a favor for a gift. And it's just a real fun, quick and easy project to share with your girlfriends out there. So I hope you enjoyed it. And are there any questions? Did I miss any questions? Thanks. I wanted to show you all one thing out of my garden before we go. These are my first roses of spring. Aren't they beautiful? I wish you could smell them. I'll smell them for you. Love them, love them, love them. So thank you all. If there's no questions, I will see you later.
That's so pretty. I love it. Happy spring to you too, Rebecca. What a beautiful project you did. And thank you. I wish I could smell those flowers. Those are gorgeous. And I love the idea of taking your box that you created and scanning it and then making it into something else for your party, like invitations. What a great idea to bring it all together. So cute. And notice I have antenna now. Antennae, Cliff is calling it. So if you are coming in late, we have created 2 projects now. One involving these little egg afros, which turned into voila. And of course what you just saw with Rebecca. So it is turning out to be a good night. Now don't forget, this next lady, not only does she give away prizes on my show, which you should stick around to have a chance to win, but she also is an amazing crafter, and she's the host of C&T's Digital Lounge Wednesday Night Live. Yeah, raise the roof for Miss Lisa Liza Lou.
I'm wearing my flower shirt. This is the loudest shirt I own. It makes me feel like a school bus. I usually wear dark, solid colors. I'm not big into print, but I found a flower shirt just for tonight. So hi, everybody. Hey, look behind me. It's not done yet, but look. Look. I'm in the process of cleaning up this shelf with organized, matching little baskets and and putting up 6 of these ATC trays and putting my ATCs that people have given me. Now the baskets are mostly empty. There's like all the crap is over here. But eventually it's going to be so much nicer for people to look at because I had like all like mixed up garbage over here, and now I'm going to make it nice and pretty. And I have my favorite Kelly, hello, what's your name? Kelly Roberts painting right there. So I'm showing you how to make some posies. I got some posies. These are some little posies that are inspired by a project that is in the book called Inspired to Sew by Barry J. One moment while I give you a little link for that information. Inspired, oh, there's a little cluster of posies. A little cluster bloom. There's the link to the book. So there's a project in her book that is all about making these little posies. Get keyboard cam out of the way. And I kind of adapted it a little bit because I'm in the process of making like 30 of these for a trade show. But the process is really easy and it's really fun. You work with felt. And so what you want to do to start with is you just take a strip of felt in whatever color you want, and you can cut it. You can scallop the edge a couple of different ways. If you like a softer edge, you can just do a really light scallop. You can do kind of a fat scallop, or you can do a little tiny scallop. And so you just cut your edges in the way you want, okay? Then we're just going to do a basting stitch. So I've threaded my needle with a double thing of thread. I've knotted the end of it. And all you're going to do, sorry for the keyboard in the way, it's not very attractive, is it? Let's see if I can, yeah, well, it's that's as good as it's going to get, people. So you're just going to do a basting stitch and use go right in a little less than 1/4 of an inch from the edge, come up and just do a very quick basting stitch. It just, you know, doesn't have to be too perfect. It's just going to do a little gathering, a little ruffling action for those of you who sew clothes. And just make sure that you come, when you're done, make sure you come to the edge. I'm going to try to do this without poking my finger because I'm trying to, okay, and so I've just loaded the whole thing onto this needle, and I would just pull it through. And then I'll show you in a minute what that's going to do. But to make it a little more interesting, before I do that, I'm going to first, if you'll notice I have a little piece of fabric kind of tucked inside there, and it's kind of got a little bit of a foldy thingy going on in there. And so I kind of figured out a way, I kind of liked how that looked, like a little center to the bloom. So what I did was I took a piece of regular fabric, not felt, but just regular cotton fabric, and I cut it into kind of a long skinny triangle like this. So I'm actually going to start by basting this first, and I'm basting it pretty close to the edge. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to run this through my needle real quick. All right, and I'm not watching the chat because I don't want to poke my finger and scream and bleed all over my flowers. That's exactly what I will do. Okay, so whoops, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've loaded that onto my needle. Okay, and then I'm just going to push it straight down the thread all the way to the bottom to the little knot. All right, so it's just hanging off my thread, and it's got this nice little graduating fan fold action going on there. Then I'm going to come and just leave it on the edge, and then I'm going to come to my felt, and it's all going to tuck together. So now I'm going to load up my little felt piece. Doobie shooby wah. So I've been saying hoogie and wah at work all the time. I'm working on a catalog right now. It's our fall 2011 catalog for all the new releases coming up the rest of this year. And as I'm talking to the designers, I'm saying, you know, move the hoogie and the wah, the hoogie, and so they're cracking up. And so now I'm noticing every time I say hoogie and wah, and it's driving me nuts. But I love hoogie wahs. So they're all together on the string, and it's just kind of a tuck and roll option. All right, I can't really describe it and do it at the same time, so I'm just bringing it around, bringing the two, pulling the thread kind of tighter to bring it all together so it's nice little tight like that, and having this kind of tucked right inside, and then bringing the two edges together. Whoopsie, turned it inside out by mistake. Bringing those two edges together, pulling it tight, and then I'm going to stitch it shut. So that when you're done, so I've got it pulled all nice and tight, and I've got this cute little puckery flower, and I'm just going to take a couple of stitches to stitch the two side pieces together, and done. How easy was that, right? So when I've got those two little things stitched together, so I've just put a couple little stitches on the side like that. It's all nice and tight. And that's why it's important to double thread your string so your thread is nice and strong, a double thing of it, and then get it nice and tight, and you get this nice little random pucker. And so this is how it looks when you just lightly scallop the edges. This is how it looks when you scallop the edges a little more perfectly, and when you use a wider, if you use a wider triangle. You can also use a really skinny triangle, and then you can have two posies that nest together. How cute is that? And then you get a really adorable little bead and stitch it right inside. How cute is that? So you can really have fun with it. And then you do some little leaves. You take your felt and you cut some leaf shapes, and you take your embroidery floss, and you just make a couple. I'm going to just show you a very quick stitch where you come up from the bottom. Whoopsie, whoopsie. You come up from the bottom. Sorry. You come back down right next to where you came up, but don't pull it all the way through. Keep your thumb there to kind of guide it. Bring it around so you have a little loopy, not too fast. Decide how long you want your little loopy to be. Put your needle back up and through the loop. And that just gives you like a little petally kind of stitch, which is a really cute little accent. And so like on this one, I did 3 of them as a cute little accent on the tips of your leaves. Or you can just do a little vein, a little straight stitch to make a few little veins. Or you can do a couple of French knots. And then on the back, we're labeling the back, so this is a piece of white label paper, ignore that. On the back, you're just going to lay your posy on top of the leaves in a nice way, and you're just going to position them and just put a couple of stitches right here, and you're going to take a nice little pin back that's got the holes in it, and you're going to stitch it right there, and voila! You have a lovely little posy brooch. Or you can, that's if you want to put it as a pin, or you can attach it to a barrette, or you can attach it to some ribbon and tie it on a present, or you can put it around your waist, or you can put it around your nose, or you can put it around your wrist. So that's all I got. I got the posies with the mosies. Posy, posy, posies. It's raining posies. Okay. I'm done reading posies. Here's Andrea. Bye-bye.
Posies! I love posies. That's really, really cute. Thank you. I would rather have those sticking out of my head than what I have sticking out of my head right now. Okay, so I'm just going to take them out. And thank you very much, Miss Lisa Lazalou. That's such a cute project. You know, I'm just a sucker for any fabric flowers. I love them. And the dog's wagging her tail too. All right, so I believe Miss Diana Gonzalez said that she had her webcam figured out. So let's see what's going on with that. You want to give her a try, Miss Diana? And welcome to all the people that are filtering into the room. Ask to speak there, lady. Right there. There you go. Oh, there's her name. Okay, the dog's making noise. Let's see if we can get her. Oh, see her beautiful face.
Hi, so this is my daughter Dakota, and I'm the Craftaholic. So we're going to be making these little flowers, paper flowers. You know, I'm really, yeah, you can look at one. I'm really inspired by the Prima marketing. I love their paper flowers. Unfortunately, I cannot afford them. So it's really easy to make these. You literally don't have to draw much. You're going to take, this is a big slab of watercolor paper. It's better to work with watercolor paper because that's what I have. So you're going to make two heart shapes. All right, you're going to make a small one and you're going to make a larger one. I'll try to bring it close up. It's really small because it's in pencil, but if you can see it, no, not really. Anyway, you're gonna make a small heart and a larger one. Okay, that's enough. And then you're gonna cut them out. You're gonna cut out 4 for the center, all right, and then you're gonna cut out about 6 or 8 for the outside here. Once you've cut them out, you're going to get some Glimmer Mist. I happen to have, literally, I bought these Glimmer Mists like, it has to be like 3 years ago or something like that. So because I don't really buy them, I like to make my own. This one, I took some Rit dye, some water, and hairspray, and I put it in a bottle, and I got my mist, and that's the color that I used for this. I also used, this is my daughter waving hello. Yes, she's very happy. And this I happened to design for blockhead stamps. So I got this espresso colored color wash from them, and you can use some of that. I like to layer different colors. You know, really there's no technique. It's just all about layering different colors that you want. You can put in a little bit of, this is from a company, what is it called? Artsy? Yeah, ATC, something like that. Anyway, I have so many supplies, I can't keep track of who makes what. But this one is like a silverish color. Layer the different colors, you know, blues and browns and peach colors together. Spray them together. You'll get something like this. And then you'll, you know, if you like that, you can then, if you don't like it and it's too much brown, you can always add a little more. You know, and that's the cool thing about it, is that then you have like this really cool color. Once you've gotten all the petals, you're going to go at the very tip of the little heart. You're going to take like a little pinhole, you know, a hole punch that makes like a little pinhole, you know, just a very small hole. And you're going to punch a hole there at the, you know, at the tip. And then you're going to put in a small brad. I have, you know, you're going to use, the real, you know, the smaller ones, not these huge, gigantic things. That's not going to work here. So it's easy. You just put them all together. You know, put them all together. Put the small ones in the center, obviously, and the larger ones on the outside. You put the brad in there. I'm sorry I don't have any examples, but obviously I'm a little, you know, occupied. So, you know, I mean, I wish I could make it with you. So you're going to put it in the brad, or you're going to put the brad in there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to wrinkle it, and you're going to crumple it all up together in a little ball, and then little by little you're going to take them all out, and it's going to be a little bit wrinkled. Once that happens, you take your Martha Stewart glue, you know, and you put just sloppy. It doesn't have to be neat. Actually, you know, the more sloppy the better. Put on a little bit of glitter, a little bit of glue, and then I used a glitter in this lovely blue shade by, I think it's Making Memories, and the color is aqua, and it's beautiful. So you can make a whole bunch of these. All you have to do is know how to make a heart. And if you don't have any if you really are that unconfident in your skills, you can get some cookie cutters even, or look up some templates online and kind of, you know, do that. Yeah, she's entertaining you there. So, you know, it's very easy, you know, just 2 hearts, you know, it's that simple. And then you got all these beautiful, you can even use your scrapbooking paper, you know, you can even stamp, you know, maybe some typewriter font on the typewriter paper first, and then that would add something really interesting. And then you don't have to worry about purchasing Glimmer Mist. You don't have to worry about purchasing these expensive flowers, because you can make your own. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed my daughter there.
I want to do it again, and I'm just a Tuesday.
What do I?
Oh, I love Dakota. She's so cute. Oh my gosh, that was really cute, Diana. I'm glad that you finally actually had a chance to get on camera, and I'm really glad that Dakota was out of her bath and ready to be on camera too. She's adorable. You're so cute, Dakota. I love you. All right, so that was really, really cute, and thank you. You know, I when I see certain things like your project, I just think of things that I want to, you know, do with it. It would be so cool to have a dress, like a paper dress made out of all of those flowers. Oh, I just love the color that you chose. It's so pretty. I know, right? I'm nuts like that, but... So, I'm going to do one more project, and then you guys got to stick around, because we have an amazing bloomin' prize time, okay? And Miss Lisa Liza-Lou, she didn't tell me what it is, but it's going to be pretty amazing. And that means I'm going to go through this pretty quickly so that we can get to our fun prize time, okay? Now, before I show you what I'm making, I must show you something. The one thing that was submitted to the Craft-Tastic-Live Crafter Showcase, they get a special mention for this month. The one thing that was uploaded, and it's pretty amazing, and I really liked it a lot. It's very, very cute, and it has flowers on it, and it's actually what inspired the flowers that I'm going to show you. So check it on out, this really cool flower clutch. I'm going to put the link into the shop that submitted this, which I think is such a great idea. They took advantage of the fact that they can get a little PR if they submitted something, and they got that back. So I think that's a gorgeous clutch. I loved rolled roses, fabric roses, and that's kind of what the inspiration is for the project that I'm about to show you. Alright, so let me just show you the project that I am going to show you tonight, to evening night. Okay, so you can see that my project is kind of this vintage, very floral color frame, but it also has rolled flowers on it. None of this is fabric, though. It is actually 100% gift wrap type of materials. The frame is actually pulled off gift wrap, and the flowers are tissue paper, and it's all kind of held together with one of my favorite things, Mod Podge. So let's rock on over to Craft Cam and show you how it all works. It's a ton of fun, I promise. We're gonna go to Craft Cam. Okay, so here's what the frame looks like. Blammo, kind of this cool vintage roughed up look. I like it a lot. It's a very easy technique for both the flowers and for the wrapping paper. I'll just go over the materials really quickly. This is the wrapping paper. This wrapping paper has a nice gloss to it, and I found that the glossier the paper, the better this technique works. You're going to need something like Mod Podge. Any white glue will work. I always use Mod Podge. And some tissue of varying colors. And basically get ready to get your hands dirty. Well, I wouldn't call it dirty. Get ready to get your hands gluey.
Crafty.
Crafty. Because this one is really hands-on and fun, and actually really good for the kids. You're also probably just going to need some extra paper that's green for your little leafies, and then a warm or hot glue gun, or just a quick drying glue because I'm impatient. I use a warm or hot glue gun so that you can get those on there pretty quickly. The premise of this whole entire thing is so easy. Just get yourself an unfinished frame or piece of wood, whatever you want to do. You can do this technique on whatever you want to do. And get yourself some white glue. Mod Podge is what I've tried out. I cannot speak to any other type of glue, but I'm sure that some other people in this room can speak to other types of glue. And you put a pretty good layer on here. And it's not like a super thick layer, but you do want to cover the entire thing. So I like to start off with my glue kind of being thick at the beginning so that it doesn't dry super quickly. And I'm just putting this on, and you really do want to cover the entire thing, especially the corners. If you want to get the sides, you can get the sides, but don't worry too much about it. Just really spread around here, and don't worry about it being like super even or anything like that. It doesn't have to be super even. You can see my little heart frame. I couldn't find a flower cutout shape for my frame, but I thought a heart would be kind of cute. And then it's just as easy as putting your wrapping paper design on top of this. And if you have a brayer, you can put the brayer on top of that, and then that will just smooth it out a little bit more. If you don't have a brayer, don't freak out. It's okay. Actually, having some lines in your paper is going to create kind of neat vintage little gaps, and then it's going to be really cool. So here's the design side. That's going to go flat onto what I just glued right there, and I'm just going to go over it with my hands and really get the sides and the corners of everything really nicely done. But it does have some raised spots in it. Like I said, that's just going to add the really nice, unique look of it once you pull off your paper. This may not work on all wrapping papers, so you might want to give it a shot on something smaller with your test wrapping paper. But so far, so good with my wrapping paper, and I have a ton of wrapping paper. So it's good to just note that I've noted that the shinier, the better. But the metallics, obviously, they're not going to work so well because they're not really attached to a paper or printed on there. They're just the metallic material. Sorry, I'm shaking the desk. Okay, so you can see I've really made it an effort to just get this down there. You can see the shape of the frame and the outside of the frame here. And then set this off to the side. If you want, you can put something heavy on it like a book, and that will just kind of flatten that out. Now, while you're waiting for that to dry just a wee bit, you can make your flowers. And all you have to do is grab some tissue. Get ready to get your hands a little bit dirty. I'm running out of Mod Podge. Look at that. I know, it's a shame. Get some tissue. I like about 4 inches of tissue. And I'm going to just sop out some Mod Podge and put it on my fingers here. Oh, look, I just pulled off. I am strong.
Oh, no.
I am so strong. Yeah, I just pulled off my little foam brush there. That's okay. And I'm just going to start wrinkling and twisting my paper around. This is the fun part for the kid. Just twist, twist, twist. It doesn't have to be, you know, soft in one spot, or it doesn't have to be, you know, completely glued all over the place. You just gotta twist her up. It's a bloomin' good time, I promise. Okay, so look, twisted. It's twisted. Oh, it's so twisted. And I'm going to attempt to sop up some more Mod Podge to put on my fingers. And then I'm just going to take one of my ends here and just start rolling in, just like a rolled rose goes. A rolled rose goes. I'm a poet and didn't know it. And just kind of taking the glue that I have on my fingers and rolling and rolling. And then that way, once it's dry, it's going to be really nice and stiff and waterproof for the most part. Once I get to the end where I have this kind of crazy little tail, I just tuck that on under. And then it will be this really cute little rose. Once it's done, I'll show you. For instance, this is one dry. Really cute. And you can cover that with any Glimmer Mist, which I don't have, or glitter Mod Podge, which I have, but I'm not going to put that on. Now, my hands are all messy, so I'm just going to give it a little towel action here so I can not ruin Cliff's new computer. And, and then I'll show you what the frame looks like when you tear it off after about 15 minutes. I like to wait about 15 minutes. So check it out. That's what the frame looks like with that cool pattern. Ooh, so I just ripped that off about, I think this one I left about 45 minutes. But you can see where, you know, there was not enough glue and it would come off. It just kind of looks vintagey and really cool. So it's a very easy way to dress up things. And I'll show you one that I did and I have yet to rip off, and I kind of wanted to show you the reveal. This is a red paper, you can see here. Ooh, here's the reveal. I actually let this one set overnight, so it's going to be on here a little bit more, I think. And the paper is a little bit different, so it's going to be on there a little bit more. And that's a testament to knowing that you should not leave it overnight. So, more than likely, this one shouldn't have been left overnight. So, that's okay though, because I did plenty of other ones. Stu's like, whatever. But you can see here, if I actually go through and then rip it off, it'll come off just fine. But I'm so impatient. I could even go in here and go in with some tape and actually rip that off too. But look, check it out what it looks like when I just rip off from about 2 minutes ago. Check it out. This is the heart one that I just put on. And it actually, this one is really nice when it comes off. Kind of a cool. So, lesson learned. Don't leave it overnight unless it's a thicker paper. This red one was kind of a thinner paper. The thicker papers work better. Look at that. And you can have a little heart that you can cut out. And then it all works out just like that. And then you grab your little flowers that you just created, plop them on, like so, and have a good old time with that. So it's just that easy. And like I said, with some little leafies, you're gonna have yourself a really good old time. Like that. I love learning new things live. I love keeping it fresh. Okay, so there's a fun new technique. Very easy craft to do. We have about 2 minutes left. Let's go right on over to prize time. It's gonna be a ton of